You ever wonder what really makes an IB school an IB school? I mean, it's got to be more than just a curriculum, right? Well, it is. It's a complete blueprint. So today, we're going to unroll that blueprint and see exactly how the International Baccalaureate builds its whole vision for global education right from the ground up.
Okay, so it all starts right here, with this one sentence. Seriously, this isn't just some feel-good slogan they put on a poster. This is the guiding star for everything the IB does. Every single standard, every practice, every little decision in the classroom, it's all designed to serve this one huge mission, creating a better, more peaceful world. This is the why that drives the whole shebang.
So that's a pretty big goal, right? Build a better world. How do you even start? Well, the IB's answer is kind of brilliant. You start by building a better learner. Their entire framework is basically reverse engineered from this perfect vision of a student, and not a student defined by test scores, but by 10 very specific character traits. This is what's known as the IB learner profile.
These 10 traits, this is the DNA of an IB education. And you'll notice right away, this goes way beyond just academics. I mean, take risk takers, for example. That's not about physical danger, it's about having intellectual courage to try new things and not be afraid to be wrong. Or balanced. That's not just about getting your homework done. It's a real commitment to your emotional and physical well-being. The real goal here is to develop a whole, well-rounded person.
A vision is great, but how do you make it happen in thousands of different schools all across the globe? That's where the IB's official blueprint comes in, the program standards and practices. This document is where that abstract vision gets translated into a concrete, actionable plan for every single school.
And to really get this blueprint, you got to know its two key parts. First, you have the standards. Think of these as the what, the big guiding philosophies. Then you have the practices. These are the how, the specific, measurable actions a school takes that prove they're living up to those principles. So, put it simply, one is the promise and the other is the proof.
The entire framework, this whole system, it all rests on these four pillars: purpose, environment, culture, and learning. Together, these four things define what the IB considers a truly excellent school, covering its mission, its structure, its character, and finally, the whole reason it all exists in the first place: learning.
All right, so let's break these down. We're going to look at how they build on each other, starting with the foundation, a school's purpose and its environment. This is really about the why and the how of the school's very existence.
So, pillar number one is purpose. Think of this as the school's North Star. It's all about making sure that every single person, teachers, students, parents, administrators, is pulling in the same direction, guided by a shared philosophy that links right back to that big IB mission we talked about at the beginning.
And this is where the rubber meets the road. How does a school actually show it has a purpose? Well, it has to prove it's living the mission. Its own philosophy has to line up with the IB's, it has to be committed to educating the whole child, and it needs to actively weave those 10 learner traits into the very fabric of the school day.
Okay, so if purpose is the why, pillar 2, environment, is the with what. This is all the nuts and bolts of the school. Its leadership, its support systems, its funding, its resources. It's the entire structure that makes the vision actually possible. So, how do you build a great environment? It really boils down to three things. You need effective leadership to steer the ship, you need strong support systems that look after student well-being, and you've got to have the right resources to get the job done. It's the well-oiled machine that actually powers the mission.
All right, so we've got the foundation laid with purpose and environment. Now we get to the really good stuff, the heart of the school, its culture, and of course, its approach to learning. This is all about the living, breathing, day-to-day experience that happens inside the school walls.
Pillar 3 is culture. You can think of this as the school's collective personality, its values in action. Is it an inclusive place? Is it ethical? Is it supportive? The IB framework is really clear that a strong culture doesn't just happen by accident. It's intentionally built through clear, shared policies that everyone understands.
And check this out. This is where you can see how policies literally create the vibe of a school. Think about it. A policy on access and admissions, that builds a culture of inclusion. A strong academic integrity policy, that builds a culture of honesty. And a language policy, that creates a culture that's globally minded. In the IB world, the rules literally create the reality.
Now, all of these other pillars, purpose, environment, culture, they are all designed to serve one ultimate goal, and that is learning. This is the fourth and final pillar, the absolute center of the IB universe. This is where everything comes together to create a space for real, deep, meaningful education. So what does high-quality IB learning actually look like in practice? Well, it's a curriculum where ideas connect across different subjects. It's teachers planning together, sharing ideas, not just working alone in their rooms. And it's using assessment as a tool to help students improve, not just to slap a grade on a paper. It's this constant cycle of learning for everybody involved. All right, so let's pull all these threads together. We started with this big vision of the ideal IB learner, then we walked through the 4 pillars that are designed piece by piece to turn that vision into a daily reality for every single student in that school.
You know, the biggest thing to take away from all this is that the IB framework isn't just some bureaucratic checklist. It's a living, breathing ecosystem. A clear purpose shapes the school's environment. A supportive environment helps foster a positive culture. And that positive culture becomes the fertile ground where deep learning can finally take root and grow. They all work together.
And that kind of leaves us with a bigger question, doesn't it? We've just looked at the IB's highly structured yet deeply human blueprint for a school. So what principles from this framework could we maybe use to inspire a transformation in education everywhere? I mean, what would happen if every school started with such a clear purpose? Just something to think about.